Good morning, or good afternoon, or evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. I have a thought for the day, and this thought for the day comes from the book Kundalini by Gopi Krishna. So, Kundalini, Empowering Human Evolution. So, and I think I'm going to have several, like 3 or 4 of these in a small series, all about Kundalini and consciousness and what are we doing in this world. So, this is called Kundalini, the guardian of human evolution. And it starts out: the world of today presents a spectacle that is not at all reassuring. There's such a clash of views, such a conflict of opinions, and such a welter of speculations about the nature of man and the purpose of his life that it's almost impossible for a seeker after truth to find his bearings and to anchor his mind in the storm-swept sea of modern thought. So let's take a few examples here. Looking at politics, we find mankind divided into conflicting ideologies and diverging systems of government. Some are democracies, some are dictatorships, some monarchies, some autocratic, some oligarchies, and so on. There are powers and superpowers bristling with armaments, eyeing each other with supreme suspicion and even hate. Billions of human beings who now inhabit the earth accept the anomalous position and the hanging threat of instant annihilation on the outbreak of a nuclear war as an inevitable result of human behavior and progress. Progress? And they submit tamely to what is, to say the least, a monstrous situation completely incongruent with the conduct of an intelligent species. All forms of life with healthy survival instincts react sharply to a hostile environment. But the elite of the most advanced segments of our race, far from reacting, are creating a more deadly and highly poisonous milieu today, deliberately, with our own hands, as the result of blunted sensibility caused by immoderate lust for power or wealth. Looking at religion, we find the major faiths battling hard with the agnostic and atheistic forces of our day, considerably shattered and shaken in the process. Looking at the economic position, one cannot fail to notice awful imbalances. We find about 90% of the Earth's wealth concentrated in the hands of less than 1/3 of the world's population, while the remaining 10% of the world's wealth is shared by more than 70 countries, supporting about 2/3 of the race. Billions of dollars are spent to explore conditions existing on the moon and other planets with hardly any relevance to the problems of mankind, while millions of children grow blind, suffer from consumption, or are afflicted with incurable ailments because of lack of proper nutrition. Looking at science, we find the confusion even more confounded. There is no doubt that scientific discoveries and inventions have transformed our lives and brought within the reach of every individual amenities and comforts that could not be dreamed of even by kings of the past. The scientific thinking of our age is also riven with dissension. So riven that it is hard to find unanimity in any branch of empirical knowledge. There are some scientists who vehemently oppose further expansion of industry and the machine in the present unplanned form to avoid pollution and the extravagant waste of our natural resources, which, once exhausted, would be hard to replenish. But then there are other scientists who are equally vehement in their denunciation of this point of view. And they believe that further advances in science will allow the discovery of methods to overcome these problems. So, as the situation exists, there appears to be no way out of the present chaos and confusion. There's no political leader, even among the most powerful nations, who can bring peace and harmony to the politically fragmented world. There's no thinker who can show the scholars a way to a better understanding of human problems, no religious teacher who can bring agreement between the different faiths, and no scientist who can provide a solution to the controversial issues that now rack the brains of biologists, psychologists, astronomers, psychiatrists, sociologists, and the like. So, can anyone suggest a solution to these problems? Is there any way to bring about unity and harmony to the nations? Is there any way to stop the feverish armament race or to destroy the existing stock of nuclear weapons? Is there any way to restrict the world population at its already excessive limit or to stop pollution of the environment or extravagant use of our natural resources? If you feel that these problems are unsolvable, ask yourself, to what purpose are billions of our fellow human beings toiling and sweating? To what purpose are the rulers strutting and dancing in front of reporters and their cameras and video recorders? And to what purpose are leaders of thought turning out volume after volume on every branch of knowledge when a volcano is rumbling under our feet, ready to erupt and spread its fiery vapor all over the earth? The issue arises, why? In spite of full awareness of the possibility of a global catastrophe, does the intelligentsia show such a lack of response to the danger and are carrying on as if there were no danger? Why is the human population drifting helplessly toward a possible disaster without raising a finger to avert it? If we cannot answer this question, the conclusion is inevitable that there has occurred a blunting of the survival instinct of the race, a blunting of the survival instinct of our entire race, combined with a disorientation of the intellect, scrambled minds, which attaches more importance to wealth, possession, or power than to life itself. So as you go through your day, think about, where do you place your importance? What is important in your life? What is important for all of us? And especially, what should be the important points, the important objectives of religion, government, science, the economy, the educational system, the medical system, all of it? What's off base? What has happened to our instinct for survival? Have a great day.